Bop, 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 bop. Bop
Bing
journal.
bong. This is take number 3. How do I sound now?
You sound crisp as an Italian herb and cheese sandwich.
Oh, thank God, dude. I thought my AirPods Max were going to give me a maximum sized bill, repair bill, but too bad. Good thing they're actually working well. Turns out, Ty, I had them on the wrong ear.
Yeah, dude. What a technically illiterate mistake just to wear your AirPod Maxes backwards.
I know, dude. So
That
my
was
AirPods thought I
insane.
was facing that way, but I was actually facing that way. That's pretty funny.
Hell yeah, that way. I thought that they're brand new AirPods. I thought that maybe Mercury was in retrograde. Maybe the Mercury in the tuna was in retrograde. There's
The
some.
tuna wasn't Gatorade.
The tuna was in
But Ty,
Gatorade.
you know what? You were so stupid. But we're back. You know what I mean? We're live. The red light
hmm
is on.
hmm
And I'm sipping on a nice beverage, Ty. What do you know about beverages and how they align with your personal brand?
Well, Eric, I have to tell you that I don't believe in any one particular beverage being a vertical of your personal brand. I think that's poor form. So if you're like just a hazy IPA guy, or like you're known for your affinity for biodynamic reds,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here for that. I personally consider all fluids to be a part of my personal brand. My personal brand is fluid forward. I'm fluid, if you will.
He's
What I'm saying
gender
there.
fluid. He's neuro fluid.
hmm
He's fluid.
I'm fluid,
This
fluid.
guy's a he's guy's a wetty. He's a wetty boy.
Yeah, dude. I'm turn up in new wet every day. New wet minister. But uh, I just
That-
I've worked really hard, Eric, to make fluid a part of my personality. And the biggest commitment there is just to always have at least one bevy in the holster, chugging back in all cases. So, and the other thing is you can't be like a beverage snob. You can't gatekeep bevies if you want to be fluid.
Yes, gatekeeping bevies is so not fluid. Like
No, you have to be open to all bevies.
exactly. You gotta be like willing to bring someone on as well as to kick someone off and to abandon your own ship sometimes.
hmm
Um, I'm sipping on a pale ale at the moment. Speaking of keeping a bevy holstered, I got this
Good
Four
for you,
Winds
Eric.
pale ale here with lemon. It's kind of like a
Hmm.
radler, but it's not really. It's just kind of like it's as if you put a lemon wedge in here. I'm looking in here. I'm like, where's the lemon wedge?
Damn, I like when they bring back simple, like citrusy beers. Like we went, the pendulum went too far into like this is like a rhubarb infused hibiscus blueberry sour, and
hmm
now we're bringing it back. Just a simple lemon pale ale, just the right amount of experimentation. This is
Yes.
me gatekeeping fluids immediately after my controversial statement.
hmm But you know what? It's a return to basics. Much
hmm
like at Subway, we've strayed too far from what makes a good sandwich. Like I was thinking about this the other day, as I usually do. But like,
hmm
why do we put like huge like chunks of meat in a sandwich? And you know what? We might have to like bring on resident experts because I'm really confused on like why somebody would want something that chewy instead of a
Mm.
sandwich. Like the cold cuts are like the perfect form factor for a sandwich meat.
And that's because the cold cuts are like precisely cut, probably with like a laser cutter to achieve the dimensionality or like the width and the length of 6 inches of sandwich, correct? No
hmm
folding necessary.
exactly. It's like God took an animal, shredded it, and then put it into a tube that was made to be easily sliced and put on a sandwich. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that's just like innovation in nature right there.
Mm-hmm.
Nature's healing.
Mm-hmm. It is the most natural form and entropy of sorts. I always thought it was a little whack that you could go to Subway and get a steak on your sandwich.
Yeah.
Like, why? Who do they think they are?
Yeah, who do they think they are with their steak, their like teriyaki chicken? Like, what is this, a sushi restaurant? Like, give me
Yeah.
some good old fashioned cold cuts, some ham, cheese, throw that bitch in the toaster. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Then throw some sauce and veggies, and boom, we got it here.
Mm-hmm. Like, how far does my blue collar ass have to be devoid from reality? Like, how much fake news on Facebook do I have to consume before, like, I walk into Subway and think that I want this, put an entire rotisserie chicken between buns? It's crazy. It's crazy talk.
I mean, Ty, it's another symptom of gym culture going too far, if you ask
Mm.
me. I think it's all these like glute building girls and
Mm.
like bicep curling dudes that just need to get their protein hit of the day. And
Mm.
like think about like where people in the world people live the longest, and in those places they're not eating 200 grams of protein a day. They're eating
No.
maybe some rice and like a little bit of it.
So
They're
it's
not
the
packing a whole rotisserie in the sub.
Yeah, totally. So I think it's the capitalist engine, Eric, really just speeding up so that you're right, the gluty gals and the keto daddies are now they have a live short live hard lifestyle, and a rotisserie chicken is aligned with that. That's their brand vertical.
They gotta live short, lift heavy mindset, and and like anything they consume is simply fuel. It's devoid of emotion or flavor. It's simply like, what meal choice can I make that's gonna make me lift 1.25 more pounds tomorrow? You know?
Yeah, totally. um but this is what I really appreciate about Italian food, is that they're like carb loading all day, and then
Hmm.
they
And then
have
they
they
don't
don't
run.
then they don't do anything, then they just lay in the sun, you know. It's like so much potential energy is created with that lifestyle. Like, you
Hmm.
could do anything at any time because you're just burning carbs, but you
Yeah,
don't.
I know. Is that why they are like really fucking anxious and like scream at people? Like, is that why domestic violence is at an all-time high in Italian American homes? Just like they're charged up with carbs, and
Yeah.
then they don't have any like physical activity to like exert that energy, so they just start screaming at their spouse like, "Where is the fucking gabagool?"
Yeah, they needed outlet. Like,
Yeah.
ever since they got rid of the gladiator games, the Italians have needed an outlet and they haven't figured it out. Like, there isn't really any sports that are owned by the Italians.
No, I mean bocce maybe, but
Maybe.
that's like 95% standing around drinking like a grappa and
hmm
then like tossing a wooden ball. So that's not really a sport, but I don't know. What kind of like static energy do you think is going on in these big Italian bellies?
Yeah. Well, I feel like Nona's Tum Tum has enough horsepower in it, if appropriately tapped, to push a Fiat Cinquecento up a stone hill in the event that it breaks down. I think that
Hmm.
power reserve, that Tesla battery pack, is on retainer for the challenges that happen when you live in a country with 800-year-old plumbing systems. You just have to be prepared to move something made of
Hmm.
stone.
Quite literally push a stone out of you is like
hmm
a likely outcome of that as well. Wow, you're right. It all comes down to Italy's trash architecture,
hmm
infrastructure,
Yeah,
damn,
totally
you're right.
garbage urban planning.
Yeah, I know. What a bunch of idiots.
So there's like some cultural appropriation happening where Subway creates pretty carb heavy meals as well because you're really getting 12 inches of bun and like a skimp of deli meats if you play your cards right. And
Hmm.
but they culturally appropriate that potential energy by trying to incentivize you to watch football. Like that's what they want you to do with it afterwards. Go be a bystander at a sports game with all this potential energy.
Hmm. You're right. With this potential energy, all I want to do is, run a marathon, potentially swim, play some tennis, um, or lay in the sun. Maybe it should be just up to me. Like our bodies are so good at dealing with all this stored energy that it doesn't really matter what you do, Ty. You can lay in the sun.
Mm,
You can, I don't know, throw a bocce ball. Doesn't really matter. You can
mm-hmm,
podcast.
mm-hmm.
I'm hyped right now, and I'm not doing anything.
That's true. I get hyped up when I get in the booth with you, my king.
That's right. Cooking up. We're cooking up a
Mm-hmm.
fucking foot long right now. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Sheesh.
You bring the meats, I bring the sauce.
This guy brings the greens, and I'm not talking about just lettuce. I'm talking about that cash.
Yeah, and the Kush, the cash of the Kush.
God damn it. Oh
Now,
man. Did
Eric,
we already
I
talk
need
about
to talk.
Ribfest?
No, but
Did we?
I want to talk to you about Ribfest next week because I have some important information about vegan ribs, but I need to eat the vegan ribs and then I'm going to talk to you.
Oh, okay. That's right. So, Breadheads, I went to Ribfest last weekend, but you're gonna have to wait on that story
Hmm.
because Ty needs to consume some ribs of his own, and that's just podcast synergy right there that you're witnessing.
Yeah, yeah. I need to meet you in the middle, meet you at the bone of the rib,
Yeah.
the bone meat.
So can you please tell me like what do you know so far about vegan ribs? Like, have you done any research? Like, where have you found these ribs? Are you going to an activation, or is this a take home, uh, you know, program? What's going on?
Well, Eric, after I found out that you were going to Rib Fest last weekend, I made it my number one task on my to-do list to track down some vegan ribs somewhere in the city. And lo and behold, I did. Created by Victoria's own The Very Good Butcher. These are ribs made with
Oh.
jackfruit. And they look like ribs. They're packaged to take home and bake at home. They're pre-marinated. I have no clue if they're boneless or whether I'm gonna bite into some BPA plastic when I get to the center. Oh,
So please enlighten me. You've mentioned jackfruit as being a meat substitute multiple times on this show. Um, that makes no sense to me, the resident meat eater. So can you please describe to me what the fuck a jackfruit is and how it's possible that a fruit can be eaten instead of meat?
well, Eric, eating a fruit is just like eating meat. You pick it up and you put it in your mouth. You should try it sometime. Now,
But does it carry the same emotion and love?
the meat motion, yes. No, it doesn't. So I don't really know what jackfruit is, Eric. My
I'm
good friend
googling it.
Eric. I know very little about jackfruit. I know that it comes in a can at the grocery store and it could be sweet
No.
or savory. I know that when you bite into it, it has the texture of pulled pork. So it's used as a substitute for pulled pork.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So it says here that many people shred the jackfruit to give the effect of shredded meat and use it in
Mm.
tacos, pulled
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote pulled pork sandwiches, or vegetarian curries.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you buy the entire jackfruit, you have to cut the fruit open and harvest the individual pods, not the AirPod Maxes. These pods are the edible meat you will use. That's crazy. The
That is
more you know.
crazy. I love anything to do with podding,
Yeah, dude.
but that sounds like a lot of work. I'd rather just have some factory do that for me. And while they're
Hmm.
at it, process it into some delicious looking fake ribs.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you've gone down this like dark, twisted rabbit hole of like meat substitutes, and there's like this
Mm-hmm.
whole untapped area of your brain that I have yet to get into. Like this is like fascinating for me, like, and I had to like Google it. I had no idea what a jackfruit even was. Like I people like me probably don't eat it because it's like just reserved for like veg heads like yourself.
Yeah, it's also pretty foreign. Like why would you want to jack your fruit, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
it's weird, it's unusual, and there's always like a few fruits in the produce section at Whole Foods that you just don't even see because they like have
Nope.
spiky things on them or they're like lilac. So it probably just falls into that category of ignorable fruits.
I know. I always turn a blind eye to the passion fruit section in Whole
Hmm.
Foods. Like I don't even know what to do with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what am I like? I don't even know how to crack it open.
Hmm. It's like that Twitter meme I saw, like some girl showing her ass on Twitter, and it's like, could you handle this? And then some skinny guy replies like, honestly, I could not.
Too many farts in there, right?
Too many jacks in that fruit.
Yeah, baby. I have some important subway information I need to share with you today, Eric.
Wow. And how important is this? Like relevant to Subway content and also normal content.
Interesting. Very relevant to Subway, very irrelevant to anybody that if you're listening to this for just general news, this isn't the podcast for you.
Yeah, turn off Think and turn on Fox.
Yeah,
Think
this
Fox.
is yeah, more like if we're think fresh, that's stink fresh. Think
Absolutely.
fresh. This is our stink fresh is our Wolfgang goes Golfwang moment for transitioning.
And you're talking about Wolfgang Puck, I assume.
That's a fact. Okay, I gotta walk you through this, Eric.
Shout out
This is
Golfwing Puck, friend of the
yeah.
pod.
uh, I'm so bad at reading. Ever since I like started spending the majority of my day on Instagram, as soon as I need to like read an article, I lose the words, Eric.
Dude, the
I be
Instagram carousel killed the article. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to read anything or have to scroll anymore. Like, I don't even like expand the captions on Instagram. I just swipe through the carousel, like, and that tells me all I need to
mm,
know.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I want all information for the rest of my life to be fed to me in the form of video.
I want it to be produced like organically via algorithm, and for me to like look at it and then immediately forget.
Yeah. I don't want to get the news firsthand from a formal publication. I want to hear the news firsthand when I hear an influencer's take on it so that I can then just
Yes.
reiterate that to my friends and colleagues as my
hmm
own.
And blindly repost like a
Blindly
true
repost.
activist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me. I'm couch active this right now. So here's what has with Subway right now. This is breaking news, Eric. Subway is currently trying to promote this new Subway series menu. As you know, as the breadheads know, we got 12 new
Yes.
sandwiches in the lineup. What they're doing is they're offering fans the opportunity to win some free sandwiches if they will get a tattoo of Subway on their body.
Oh no.
I don't know what the tattoos are. It has something to do with the Subway series, so we can only speculate. Probably sandwiches. Maybe it's the names of the sandwiches, like the Supreme Meat or the Great Garlic. Can you imagine getting the word Supreme Meat somewhere on you, Eric? That would be pretty dope, actually.
Yeah, half of our listeners probably only need to add the word meat to their existing Supreme tattoo. That's pretty cool.
Holy shit. Yeah, you're 50% of the way there.
So, can you just clarify this? So, Subway is telling people to get the name of the sandwich tatted on them for what, a free sub, you said?
Well, Eric, it depends on the tattoo size and the tattoo location. I'll break it down for you. If
Jeez.
you get a 2-inch by 2-inch tattoo, so that's like the size of a Mighty Melt, on your wrist, your bicep, if you could actually find your bicep, or your foot, you get free subs for a month. If you
Holy
go
shit.
3 inch by 3 inch, then you get, and you put it on your shoulder blade, forearm, or calf, a little bit more high vis location, might affect the interview, the next employee interview.
The
You get subs for a
interview.
year. Interview.
Wow. So only 50% larger tat size gets you 12 times the subs.
Yeah, so I'd say that's like your like value play. A year of subs for like shoulder blade, like you're not looking back there.
Yeah, dude. I'm getting
Yeah.
a meatball right on my chest. I don't give a fuck.
Well, dude, you're in luck then. You get the foot long tattoo. They're literally calling this the foot long option. A 12-inch by 12-inch tattoo, presumably of like your favorite footy, and you pop that on your back or your sternum, you get free Subway for life, baby.
Oh.
Holy shit.
So if you're homeless, Ty, this is an excellent move. Just get a fucking crazy tat on your chest or back, and like you're never you won't die. Like you will like literally live forever because you get free food for life.
Yeah, dude. I'm sure that like the average lifespan of someone with a sternum tat is probably significantly lower than normal people anyways, but this might actually level it out.
This will level it out. But now there's a genuine reason for someone to get a sternum tat or a back tat. And yeah, this is like a great play for the unhoused. Does this mean that Subway is now going to be rebranded from a restaurant to a shelter?
I think it's a progression. They go from restaurant to parlor for tatting up to homeless shelter.
Wow.
What I'm trying to figure out though, Eric, is during the parlor phase when they're inking out their custies, is it the sandwich artists that are responsible for that? Because they are pretty good with squirting the sauce bottles, or are they bringing in an
Hmm.
in-house like a tattoo artist? And if so, what's the chain of command with the artists?
These are very good questions. But you're telling me that Subway itself has to perform the tattoo on you? Or can you just bring in an existing sandwich tat and be like, look, it's Subway?
Once again, very bad at reading news. I'd rather just get this in a video. And I think that Subway probably is going to want to control the tattoos because if they had you just get one at your local tat shop and then expense it, there's too much room for liability, you know? Like what if it doesn't quite
Hmm.
look like a Subway sandwich? What if it actually looks like a Quiznos sub?
Hmm. And what to you looks like a Subway sandwich? Like the olives are sliding off and the sauce dripping. Obviously, herbs and cheese sprinkled on top. What else? What else
Mm.
makes a Subway sandwich undeniably a Subway sandwich?
Bro, I think it's the dimensions. It's that elongated structure that screams Subway to me. You make it too
Hmm.
short, might as well just be a bodega sandwich.
Hmm. You're right.
You make it too long, that's a baguette, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I see where you're going with this. It's all about the 12-inch length by 2-inch height.
Mm-hmm.
Scraggly lettuce bits coming out the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Nice cut at the 7-inch mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a little off kilter.
Hmm.
Damn. So for me, it's all about the silhouette.
Yeah, you're right. Um, wow.
What about
This
you?
is this
What
is
what
great.
what is the this most distinguishing factor of a sandwich to make it Subway for you?
I mean, the things that to me indicate Subway are unfortunately not captured in this 2D format. Like a drawing of
Mm.
sandwich doesn't do nearly enough justice to describe where the sandwich is from, especially Subway. Like I could almost like have an easier time telling you which sandwich it was doing a blind smell test.
Mm. Do you think they make ink like that smells
Like scratch and sniff.
like a scratch and sniff? Yeah.
Dude, that'd be awesome for our like for our addict listeners because because they would just get the subway tat, scratch and sniff, and when they scratch it, it just like alerts the authorities like, yo, this guy's hungry, like he needs a sandwich ASAP, and then they can bring him a free sub from the local way.
Hell yeah. If they could infuse tattoo ink with that sweet onion smell, or even better, the herbs and cheese bread, then everywhere I go, I could be wafting that aroma, constantly craveable. Actually, if that existed, I'd probably infuse a nice cologne so that I permanently smell like a nice cologne, my signature scent. But
That's where I was going with this too. Like, could I tat the Aesop logo on my neck, and then whenever like shorties like come and sniff, it's like the quill.
hell yeah, get a little Byredo vetiver kind of move happening on the back of the neck or on the wrist.
Mm-hmm. Neck and wrist don't lie, baby.
I know that like with typical perfumes, heat causes the top notes to disperse faster. So in
Mm-hmm.
theory, you could infuse your wrist with a little bit of cologne via a tattoo, and then rub your
Mm-hmm.
wrists together to trigger the release of the aroma.
Mm-hmm. So instead of a scratch and sniff, it's more of a rub and sniff
Mm-hmm.
or
Sure,
rub
you
and
know,
tug, if you will.
yeah, you're probably very familiar with rubbing, tugging, and sniffing.
I am.
Wow, Eric, this is wild. So, if you have a tattoo on your back, let's say you get a foot long meatball sub on your back because you're cursed, and you go in a Subway and you want to get that sandwich, do you have to take your shirt off in line to show them that
Wow.
you are qualified for a free sandwich?
I would hope so. I would hope that's part of it. And like if you're doing it in a visible, semi-visible spot, like shirts off sometimes, so semi-visible.
Hmm.
I would hope that they would make you show it. I think it's pretty hot.
It's kind of a conflict of interest though, because they're changing the policy from no shirt, no service to no shirt, free service.
Hmm. You're right. I mean, that's like a lot of places. You take off your shirt and then suddenly people start, treating you a little bit better.
Really depends on your gender.
It really does.
And your fit, I guess. Like if you
Hmm.
look like Elon Musk, you're probably getting kicked out of more places than you're accepted.
Oh yeah, did you see that photo of Elon shirtless on the boat?
Yeah, dude. His entire chest looks like a hard drive. That's what it looks like.
You're right. He looks like the polish on a brand new SpaceX jet that's like gonna fight off the UV rays in space or something.
Yeah, dude. He looks like he tried to swallow a Tesla battery. Dude
Mm-hmm.
is got some weird proportions.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what
And
money
he's
does to you?
vacationing
It
in
makes you deformed?
I think so. I mean, look at this. He's vacationing in Mykonos with some
Wow.
mystery women, and he just looks like he works out his like upper abdomen, and that's it.
Hmm.
Like this
So,
area right here.
yeah, man, his personal trainer needs to spread that around a bit.
Hmm. I mean, if you're sleeping in the, Tesla factory, you're not getting very much sunlight. Um, but yeah, kudos to him for freeing the pepperoni nips.
Yeah, there's something to be said for a man with this physicality taking his shirt off on a yacht. Like this seems like the kind of body type that the white t-shirt would stay on all day, even in the water. But I
Hmm. He's
guess when
got
you're
the
the
fat
richest
kid
man on
swag.
earth, yeah, if you're the richest man on earth, you can get away with it, I guess. So there's a little bit of inspiration for all the chubbies out there.
Exactly. Get your money up, little broke bitches.
Yeah,
That's
the
the
ladies
that's
will
the
love
real
you.
like listen. That's the real lesson here. Like just get your fucking money up and like you have no problems in life anymore. Like you can take off your shirt and reveal a uh painfully white ivory chess piece.
Hmm.
And
Dude, yeah.
it's all good.
makes you think that Elon could probably get away with anything he wants. Like he can walk into Subway with his 3-inch dick out, just swaying in the breeze, and they'll still make him a sandwich.
Mm-hmm. So do you think if you were to like go into Subway and you got your foot long tatted like near or on your dick and you just exposed it to the sandwich artist, like what do you think would happen in that case? You're like, I want my free sandwich, or are you getting kicked out?
Another conflict of interest. There's probably this is a gray area, Eric.
It's a pretty
It'd be
gay
pretty
area, I would say.
that too. It would be pretty funny because you wouldn't be able to fit a tattoo of a 6-inch sandwich on yours. So there has to be some interpretation.
You would have to get hard in front of the sandwich artist. You you would have to.
Like no, it's a full foot long. I
Yeah,
swear.
it's like wait, that's a 3 inch. Sorry, but you don't qualify. It's like hold on, you just go. It's
I
like it's
swear
six
this is
inches now.
authentic.
Yeah,
Just trying to
it's like
authenticate the
authentic.
tattoo.
Yeah, I
No.
know. I'm a grower, not a shower.
Dude, this is the Subway equivalent of doing a reCAPTCHA.
Yeah, click all the boxes that resemble a penis.
Holy shit. I
Oh
don't think they
man.
realize what they're getting into. This is another like ill-thought Subway marketing scheme. What else? You're not just slapping meat over there. That sounded like you broke something.
Yeah, something broke.
Yikes.
But I'm slapping some meat too. Don't worry about
Right on, brother.
it. I didn't mean for that to disrupt the entire podcast. Please
Holy
continue,
shit.
Ty.
Well, I don't have much to give you beyond that, Eric. I'm dumbfounded by this marketing scheme, and the rules are all weird. It's about size and placement, not necessarily what you tat, and it's not clear like how you're gonna get the free sandwiches.
Yep.
I'm I'm walking away with more questions than answers after learning about this.
And is this an Onion article that you are showing me, or where
Yes,
where did you
I
find
pulled
this?
this. I pulled this from the Red Onion. It's it's just on the internet, Eric. Have you been there?
I have been on the internet with my surfboard. Um, yeah, dude, just
Caught in the
surfing the
web.
vibes. That's right.
That's
So
cool.
happy
That's
I fixed
cool.
my AirPods. Wow.
Me too. This sounds way better.
Mm-hmm. Do we didn't even address the fact that I'm a full bald dome right now,
Yeah, Eric
live
shaved
on this air.
the whole skull. He looks like
Mm-hmm.
Boss Baby right now, or like perhaps a Balenciaga model.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I'm probably gonna buy some Balenciaga shades shortly after this podcast because I think like the eyewear that Balenciaga makes is designed for like people with extreme haircuts.
Hmm.
Anyone with like a normal head of hair is like not wearing the Balenciaga like sport goggles.
No, they're not going to work with you with normal hair. It's
That's what I
like,
say. That's what I say when I go to Balenciaga. I was like, I want to work with you guys. Like, like, give me some glasses and let's build.
hmm yeah, that's very Lil Uzi Vert of you.
Hmm.
The challenge, so normal haircut guy wearing Balenciaga shades is like the equivalent of getting the like a twisted sandwich, like the steak and cheese, and putting it on just Italian bread.
Hmm.
It's it just doesn't. It feels weird. Like if you're gonna max yourself out, like level up all your specs. Go for the Italian herb and cheese.
Always get that, man. Like, they should just take every other bread off the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one's
There's more.
allergic to cheese.
Not that I'm aware of.
Hmm.
Jokes on them. It's not real cheese.
Exactly. It's simply like crop circles on top of your bread. That's all it really
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah, they probably just melted it a little bit more there to give it a yellow streak, or maybe some ammonium or something.
Hmm. Beautiful. Man, I can't wait to talk to you about these ribs that you're about to consume.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about Rib Fest. We can go tit for tat, head to head on our rib
Hmm.
experiences,
Yeah,
rib for
rib for
rib.
rib. Oh,
Ooh.
Shit, buddy. Wow. Well, I think that about does it for today, Ty. Unless you have anything else pressing that you would like to share with me. Um, I don't. I'm just vibing
No.
over here. Sun is finally out, so I'm ready to take my shirt off and reveal my 6 inch.
uh, sun's out, sun's out. And I'm talking about your little man, but I have nothing for you,
Hmm.
my good co-host. I just want to wish you good tidings heading into this weekend. Plenty of sunburns and sunblock. And to the breadheads, I hope you as well have an amazing weekend. Enjoy your time off. Make sure to give us a follow on Spotify, on Apple Music, and on the social media platforms, mostly just Insta. Anything
Hmm.
else, Eric?
That's it, man. Bon appetit. You know what I'm saying?
Bon appetit. Well, you go get your bone and your teats out and enjoy that sun.
Hmm.
Ciao.
You as well. Think fresh, everyone.
Ciao.